Well, this is Cardo's Media, and yeah, don't blame the messenger. Yeah.
Yo, you don't know. This is Trilogy, straight out of Dominica, and you're tuned in to Cardo's Media. Don't blame the messenger. Boom.
Yes, good night. What are the vibes, Cardo? What are the vibes?
Hi there, Vote. What's going on?
Right, everybody taking it easy, trying something.
Definitely trying something. Yo. We live. But if you know a lot of things going on in the world today, boy.
Yeah, boy, a lot, boy.
A lot of things. Yesterday, we had our Prime Minister come out with his press release, his press conference, and talking to the nation of Dominica. And also, I'm just getting information on international news that Nicolas Maduro's drug narco kingpin charges were quietly dropped. Is international news. This is coming in very quietly on the media, but not loud enough.
Not loud enough.
Let me just read that. The U.S. Department of Justice, the GOD, did, however, revise the indictment and quietly dropped the specific claim that the Cartel de la Sols is an actual formal criminal organization led by Maduro. But some of the charges still remain, but one of the main charges for them going into this man's country in the middle of the night and taking him from his home has now been quietly dropped.
Wow. So
this is astounding.
You're trying to tell me that information that the United States of America certified and clarified and was 100% sure it was accurate to move into a country and to disrespect its sovereignty to that degree, to kill innocent people and people who defend in the country, to then drop it quietly? Does that make sense?
Definitely. That is why I'm telling you here now. This is coming in on Fox, I think, and on the New York Times is saying this. PBS, The Guardian, Times India, so BBC. So that's crazy.
Yo, that's a big thing, you know. Because I honestly, we all knew. Well, I go say me and you. Both of us knew that it wasn't necessarily on those drug charges that caused the invasion. I should say it was an invasion. It was a captivity of the Venezuelan president. We all knew that. But then when we see news like that happening, we have to ask ourselves, well, really and truly, is that for true?
So, and we have to ask ourselves this question: did our Prime Minister jump into bed with the US?
Well,
too early.
I'm going to show you the analogy right now, because we have to put into consideration what has just happened to Venezuela in the degree and the way it happened. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They said they had information, they said they had proof, they rolled on that, they acted upon it. Now it has happened. Some of it were dropped, but where's the repercussions? Where's the repercussions?
Yeah. Who's going to be held accountable?
So it seems that where world crime ends, America and its power continues.
I said that in a video the other day, you know.
Yes, that's why I put it back on you. I put it back in the discussion. I put it back in the discussion.
I said that in a video I made the other day.
So how does somebody negotiate, or how does somebody approach a nation that shows such a power where a nation's sovereignty literally can be compromised on basic any weakness, any weak claims. Yes, I big up, man. You have a comment there coming in.
Oh,
Yeah, man. We are coming in one time. So that is crazy, man. That's crazy.
very, very much insane, my brother, because yeah, okay, I don't even want to stay too long on that. That's international news. Now we have local news,
Hmm.
news closer to our chest that
Okay.
our justice in Dominica is 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 selective justice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's very much selective, I think. And our media houses are very selective on what they want to put out to the public. The reason I am making this claim is that there was an incident that took place over the weekend, and if Carlos Media didn't bring this incident to life or to light, I don't think anybody would have brought it to light. The incident where there was an alleged shooting by a doctor in Dominica on a young lady, and it's now finally coming to light in that space where people are now hearing about it on Dominica Breaking News, also on DBS this morning. His arraignment charges was brought up as attempted murder. So I'm just wondering, is the media fraternity in Dominica selective as well as to who they're gonna bring out into the public and make allegations on? Does that make sense to you, Fido?
Well, I got to be honest with you, I get an important call there, so I wasn't following through everything you're saying, and I need to go right now. I gotta put Little Man to bed, but I gotta bring down this stuff for him quickly. That does keep the audience engaged, and I come back so deal with that situation there, because what you're saying is not wrong, but we need to put that into bigger perspective because I don't think it started there, and I want it to end, but I don't think it will end there. But the question would be, how do we approach the situation from now onward? How can we get justice to be justice?
Yeah, because then I also want to even touch on the fact where the Prime Minister made a statement in his presentation yesterday, being a father, stating that his son was never charged in any criminal activity in Dominica, where there was a supposed incident that took place a couple of years ago, and allegedly his son was involved in said incident, but he was never charged, so he was able to leave Dominica and not get prosecuted. I find our justice system is very selective, and our media houses are very selective on what they want to bring forward to the public and to make people aware of and to be charged with. We have to try to be as fair across the board as we can, because it doesn't sit right, it doesn't look right, it doesn't feel good to have our system fall apart the way it is falling apart. And we're not saying anything. We just here sitting, looking, and wondering. My people of Dominica, it's time for us to really understand what is going on around us. And so let me start with yesterday's press conference. Yesterday's press conference, the Prime Minister called had a cry for unity in Dominica. And I am glad that he started off his press conference that way, calling out for unity in Dominica. The reason I am glad that he started off his press conference that way is because we need to be unified when we are faced with challenges from all around us. We need unity, and unity needs to start at home. First, we need to start with our communities, then our constituency, then our nation, and then our Caribbean brothers and sisters at large. I believe that CARICOM and our leaders in Parliament and in the Caribbean have failed us as a people, and they need to be held accountable, because their failure is what is putting us in the predicament that we are in right now. The predicament where we are losing visa-free access into countries where that we would normally have been able to go. We are facing visa bans in the US, and we just want. I want to know why has our leaders not come out with one voice and given out a proper statement so that we as a Caribbean community can stand together as one. I keep saying this thing over and over again, that we need to start standing together as one people with one voice, because every time we get divided, we fall. No, part of the reason we had a little bit of unity in the Caribbean was that mostly all the islands was under Labour. Mostly all the islands was under a Labour Party, or some form of Labourism was going on in mostly all the islands. Now that we have had Trinidad going on its own, we have St. Vincent, and we hear the rhetoric that's coming from Trinidad, where she says that she doesn't even want to be part of CARICOM. She wants to pull her country out of CARICOM. Does that make sense to anybody? Why are we so separate? Why are we not united as one people to put one message to show that we, the people, can stand the test of time? Instead, our leaders are now making backdoor deals and not even consulting their parliament, not even consulting nobody, and just making deals, and we have to now accept whatever deal that was struck. We are hearing that we are going to be receiving refugees from people from countries, or people from countries who are seeking asylum in the US. So they are refugees. I am not saying that our population might not be helped if we accept a few refugees. It might, because our population is dwindling. We need a larger populace. But how much people can we sustain? How is that going to affect the voting if they do come to our country? How is that going to affect our election? Who is getting paid for these people to come into our country? How is this going to work? How is it going to benefit? Where are they going to be housed? There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And I believe that it's time for transparency. The Prime Minister made in his statement as well yesterday that transparency is needed. And I think transparency time is now. How are you going to force this down our throat and say you're going to be transparent, and yet you have not brought out the memorandum of understanding between yourself and the US? I am not saying that you have to disclose every detail, because there are certain things that we, the public, might not need to be privy to because of security. But at the same time, there are things in there that we should know. And if you keep on hiding these details, that means you are not being transparent. That means you are still being the person that you are already, by keeping information to your chest, to yourself. And we as a people should not tolerate this any longer. We need to have a voice for our people. Stop abusing us and making it seem fair. It's not fair when your people are asking you questions and there is no real answers, no real responses. It's not fair to keep your people in the dark when you're signing deals behind their back. It's not fair. Be transparent, like you say. You want to be transparent. Let's become transparent. We need transparency. We need to know what is going on. We can't keep living in the dark like this.
Yeah, this comment is saying, does the PM pay for all funerals in Dominica, or was his payment of cannot dress funeral an attempt to pervert the course of justice to prevent his son from being prosecuted?
I want to answer your question in a way that will make sense for everybody. I think the PM and his representatives and the representatives of the parliament, they assist people in funeral. They assist them in funeral. I'm not sure if it's 100% of the people they assist. I am not sure how was the percentage like, but I know they assist people in funeral. So when they paid for can't dress funeral, I cannot say if it was for alleged cover-up. I cannot say for fact. And I would really want to speak with facts when I answer that question, and I cannot answer that with factual information. It could be for cover-up, it could be for whatever, but they do assist with funeral services for people of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Do I think it's an unfair system? Do I think it's an unnecessary system? I do. I think the government should rethink these things and make it where the state can say, okay, well, the state is going to pay $1,000 towards everybody's funeral, and be transparent with that. If you allocate a certain amount, but my funeral can be $5,000 and the state pay $5,000, and this other person's funeral can be $2,000 and the state pay $2,000. That is not fair. Where is the fairness? Where is this money coming from? From a nation that barely brings in any actual revenue? Is that coming from the CBI money? Is that coming from the Prime Minister's pocket himself? Where is that money coming from? Let us be transparent with those kind of things. That question is what? My question, why?
Yeah. So,
why take in?
yeah.
Why take in people, and we are suffering in the country itself? Why take them in? Why take them in under greed and know they are going to suffer? Is it for the greater good or selfish? You know, go ahead and answer that one there. So, Stacey, how you doing tonight now? Go ahead. I think it's a little bit of all of them things you made mention of. Greed, selfishness, and everything to the nature. The reason I'm going to say that is, do you remember that Dominica right now is under current visa restrictions from the US? Or visa ban from the US? I believe that part of the reasoning for the Prime Minister making that move is to also help with the visa ban restrictions that we have been placed under. Is there greed involved in it? There possibly might be greed involved in it. Could it be that for the next elections, he puts people in certain constituencies to help boost his voter base? Possibly. I don't want to speak on things that I really don't know. Is it gonna help boost our population? Is a possibility. And our people are starving because we have a lack of jobs, of proper jobs, a lack of an economy that can help self-sustain itself. If we become self-sustainable, we can be better off than we are currently. But we have a system of dependency and handout, and I want to leave the rest for Fido to answer.
Going back to that question, there, I gonna also say is that when you put yourself in a tight situation and a hard place, you have to try to negotiate yourself out of it. So I believe it's a negotiation because remember we were hit with the visa ban, and then also we were shown the strong arm of America on Venezuela. So practically, is to try to put yourself in the good baskets of said leader or said president. But I myself, I don't know what will come of that because I know that will not be the deciding factor to make you to not exempt you from the visa ban because there are other things in question. The thing is that when you're working, when you're doing things right, and you say by all means necessary doing things. If when you end up doing bad things, it will always come back and bite you.
True.
And then when you have a history of doing bad things, then they can hold you by your balls. So no matter what you do, they'll find a way to restrict you, to make you regret what you've done, to always put you in the loop. So I believe that he tried to see how he can negotiate. He's trying to see how he can negotiate to get us rid of that visa ban, which is a big thing on his shoulder, a big weight on his shoulder, and also to get. I mean, if you're taking refugees, you'll be getting some sort of monies to handle that, not Ricardo. I'm thinking.
I would believe so, but you see, again, we don't know the MOU.
No, and that is the issue. That is the issue we've had with this administration for all these years they've been in power. That information is very limited to the public, so we don't know on the basis of this thing happening. We can't even make a fair judgment or even be open to this thing if we don't know what's happening. So then, what are the refugees? Who are the refugees that are coming in here? What are their background? You understand me? Do we have the necessary basic needs, basic things? Our healthcare system is not, we're trying our best. I could say we're trying our best for our healthcare system. Can we cater? Can we cater? Do we have the standards to do those things? You understand? Again.
America only does things in its best interest.
Yeah. Definitely.
So it's rather interesting that you would do a backdoor deal, not consult your parliament, not consult your people, instead you just force it down their throat forcibly.
Yeah, man. Look, you have a comment there. So as it relates to the refugee and deportees, the government is not greedy or selfish. They do not have a choice. That was forced onto them. They do not have a choice. They are now regretting that the Dominican or the islands became independent. Okay.
But I can but rebut on that. If we were one Caribbean community, we would not be going through that mess we're going through. If we had decided to be one Caribbean community.
But I saw CARICOM exists, and CARICOM is the Caribbean community.
CARICOM exists, and I said this in a video before. CARICOM exists on paper, but not in practicality. Fido, remember we sometimes we just talk too fast. Sometimes I believe on Kairos Media.
You taking that?
Yeah, man. We don't. It's like we predicting some of the things that's gonna come to fruition, and people tend not to understand where we coming from.
Yeah.
And don't see that,
because I'm gonna tell you the truth. What I realize CARICOM has become. CARICOM has become a safe place for persons in leadership to do anything and to be kept in their hush hush. All right, and I can say that based on what I saw happen when this guy from Trinidad came in, and was speaking of the stuff that Ralph Gonzalez did, and Gaston Brown said. Then Gaston Brown is saying that he feels betrayed or he feels let down by CARICOM for only that. You understand me? Nothing else. So if that's why I also made a video for CARICOM to update it policies, because when it's only the leaders that feel protected and not the people, then it's not a community.
No,
All right, it is
it's
a
a boys
sector, a
and girls club.
society. Exactly. Okay, is it as the elite club, actually, I should say.
Mhm.
So that is where CARICOM failed. That is where CARICOM failed. Look at this. Look at the comment communist. So CARICOM exists on paper, not practicality. Every leader wants to be in charge is not the very reason that caused the Federation of 1963 to fall apart. You
Is
see
a
that?
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's because
So
you see is a slave mentality. Like I can't even bring it back further. It's a slavery mentality. Divide and rule. When you were a slave, when we were slaves, they used this thing where they would take the strongest, the most rebellious, and they would try to break that person in front of everybody. They would pit us against each other and make us feel humiliated. When they did that, it made us seem, well, if they can break this individual, who is me that don't have no strength? Who is me that don't
exactly.
have no voice? So this the same strategy was used in Venezuela. Venezuela is one of the strongest Caribbean or Latin American countries. If I can break Venezuela, if I can come in the middle and I can take their leader and go with him, who is you as a small Caribbean island? Who are you?
But that is where CARICOM failed. CARICOM failed greatly. We were saying CARICOM failed, but CARICOM failed greatly actually, because America didn't have to say, "Oh, because your CBI policies are a little bit off, that we banning you, that is giving you a visa ban." CARICOM within itself should say, "You pull up your socks. That should be changed. You should actually have residency for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, something like that." You see, if CARICOM had tightened its policies where it would correct its leaders when they seem to backslide in democracy, all right, or seem to
Mhm.
be oppressing the people, then we would have been a stronger voice where
Of
nations would have to
course.
listen to us. You understand
But
me?
when there's no
So
checks, there's no balances. When
look
there's
at
no
that.
paperwork, there's nothing else.
I can give the experience of 2025. They go into parliament, the people, some of the people, the people were not in agreement of what was going on past through parliament. My wife was called for RSS. RSS. Yeah, okay,
Mhm.
we can send them some for troops on there. What qualifies a leader to call for RSS? What qualifies? Okay, yes, you need RSS. Why? Civil unrest. Why? Where is the checks and balances?
Mhm.
So why RSS not coming to protect us? But I already kind of asking that questions,
Yeah,
because why are you giving the right for regional security to come down in Dominica and not protect the people of Dominica, but to
because
protect,
RSS
but
is
it will
being used.
protect.
RSS is being used as a militia.
Okay. So that is why
RSS is
they
being,
undermine. Well, I can see those leaders that undermine CARICOM itself because they
of
misuse
course,
it.
they have. And so sometimes we, the people, have to be held accountable for all of this foolishness too, because we not speaking up, we not challenging the norm. This boys and girls club became so good that nobody cares. Nobody really watching the real scenario of what is taking place. Nobody is. So we have to take what we get. You know what I want you to do, play though, Fido, if you can, is to
Which one?
play the beginning of the Prime Minister's conversation yesterday, this press conference,
Okay,
where he
let me just get it fast.
cue it up, okay, where he said made the statements that we need to unite. Because I really want the people to understand this, that yes, we need to unite. yes, we need to come together. But we need to start at home, and then we need to take it further from the house. Because
Okay.
go ahead.
To everyone viewing and listening to this press conference. I want to thank all of you for attending the media. Without the media, there's no press conference, and so I appreciate always you making the time to be present. Let me also take this opportunity to wish all of you here today, as well as all of you tuned in, a happy and productive New Year. I will first comment briefly on the January 3rd, 2026 capture of Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores, by U.S. forces to have them face trial in the U.S. on allegations of international misconduct. Dominica, as always, is firmly committed to the principles of international law, multilateralism, and the United Nations system, and has a long-standing respect for sovereignty, territorial integrity, and human dignity. Dominica reiterates its call for the rule of law to be observed and for ongoing diplomatic efforts to ensure Venezuela's stability, good governance, democracy, and peace. Dominica remains steady, ready to support all such efforts. At this moment, our concern is for the well-being of the Venezuelan people. Political developments have real consequences for ordinary citizens, affecting social and economic stability, and in many instances, access to essential services. We therefore encourage restraint and actions which prioritize peace and the protection of human life. We are also mindful of the practical and immediate effects that regional developments can have. On January 3rd, for example, in the immediate aftermath of military activity in Venezuela, there were disruptions to some flight schedules in the region, which inconvenienced persons traveling to Dominica. We are pleased to note that these disruptions were short-lived and that flight operations have since returned to normal. Dominica is also attentive to the broader regional implications of instability. Our Caribbean region is closely interconnected through trade, energy cooperation, and migration.
Stop.
Developments in one country inevitably.
So you hear what he said, that the Caribbean is interconnected through trade and some other words he used there in that same statement. So why aren't we interconnected when it comes to national or Caribbean issues that face us all at once?
Or democracy.
For democracy.
I gotta tell you something there, I can't tell you something there. Guys, the boy outfit offsetting me there, I do. Anyways, the boy outfit offsets me there. Because while CARICOM main goals was to be trade connectivity, connect us to trade and all that stuff. I mean, they've really truly failed to uphold democratic or to correct leadership when it falls. Instead, they covered it. So that weakened us. That in CARICOM weakened us. And I don't know. The question I have to ask you, because you guys can tell me I don't know. Can CARICOM recover? I don't know. Should we change? Should CARICOM? Should we still depend on CARICOM? Can CARICOM recover from that big failure?
Yeah, man. CARICOM can recover, but it's gonna take bold leadership to put the checks and balances together and stop treating CARICOM like as though we're going for a photo shoot. CARICOM can recover.
But I have an idea where I have an idea where CARICOM can recover, But I would only support CARICOM recovering and bettering itself if the people of the different countries would be considered as well. If democracy would be the main thing, yes, we can have trade. Yes, we can have economic circulation and connectivity. Yes, but if the people will be oppressed and CARICOM will not stand for the people, only for the leaders, then that can't be. I can't continue that,
True.
I just can't continue that. Right now, we have to ask ourselves, in the democracy is concerned, only the prime ministers and presidents are important. What they're doing not important too. How they treating the people not important too. What would be the checks and balances for the democracy is concerned for a nation? What would be the checks and balances with democracy is concerned for a nation? This is what we need to find out. This is what we need to put in place. Because when a leader is exercising certain things that goes against the people's democratic rights, who is going to come in? Who is going to step in?
Yeah, who's gonna help them? Who's gonna help the people? Yeah.
You understand me? So this is where my mind is really at where that is concerned, to be honest. All the connectivity, the CARICOM is that the CARICOM has failed to put out a unified voice in this whole scenario. And even if they tried to put it out, it was not successful.
Yeah, it was not unified. It was not unified because there was a letter that came out by 3 or 4 member states of CARICOM. Not all the heads of CARICOM put out that same statement, I think Antigua was part of it. St. Lucia, Jamaica. I think so. I have to find it. I can't remember it right now. But I think it was 4 countries that came out. And I'm like, but that doesn't make sense. How is that gonna hold any weight to anybody? If you all how many members in CARICOM? Is it 9 or 10?
I could look it up right now.
I'm not 100% sure how many members of CARICOM.
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 member states, and it has
15
1, 2,
member
3,
states, and
4, 5,
4
6,
member
and
states gonna
6.
put out that statement.
And there are 6 associate members.
Not
Exactly.
not even a half of them.
Exactly.
That is bad. That statement can't hold no weight. That statement can't hold no weight. So when you divide it amongst yourself, and I made this point before, and your leaders keep making deals behind the back of the CARICOM member states, you don't have. That's what you end up with. That's what you end up with refugees coming into your countries. That's how you end up with the US setting up bases in your countries.
I just put up the comment again because I felt it was another time again to put it up. As it relates to the refugee and deportees, the government is not greedy or selfish. They did not have a choice. They did not have a choice that was forced onto them. I'll leave it as that.
Yeah, it was forced on them. But
and then you have to ask yourself too. Okay, go ahead, and I can keep my point.
No,
go ahead, I don't
but
your point.
if we were united, the force wouldn't have mattered, because you refuse it as a body and not as a one-man thing.
That is true. Because what I was going to say, you have to ask yourself, why is it that you run to try to make amends? Why is it that you were easily forced into that? I don't know if you're easily. I'm not saying easily. I don't take this as.
It's easily because they saw that Venezuela fell, so everybody scatter. You know when you turn on the light, and you have a cockroach in a building, and you turn on the light, everything scatter. All of them run away.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same. You hear what they did? They charged Medora with drug trafficking and supposedly put in the indictment that some Caribbean leaders.
Yes. So
some Caribbean leaders might be part of it. All of them, as soon as the light turn on, all of them scatter and run to their home. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, man. Yes, man. So basically, my train of thought was like, what really you involved in that should cause yourself to really, when you hear this statement said that there's certain Medaris communicating, and there are other leaders involved, and then you run to pacify something. I don't know what's going on with you. Why really what you get yourself into? You want to you want to pacify it so quickly, you have to ask yourself those questions. So really and truly, really and truly, it's just I know you're trying to pacify a hot situation, but if CARICOM was better organized, if CARICOM had updated policies for 2025, 2026, real world scenarios, then I believe that probably would feel better about the situation, probably would have a better stance, a better resistance. Probably we could have requested more stuff from America before they move in on Venezuela like that. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, with everybody doing what they want to do, everybody doing what they modeling after somebody, I guess. Then everybody in their own scene, so you're not really united.
No, this brings me up to a thought. Have you ever heard of the Monroe Doctrine?
Yeah, I know about the money doctrine.
People on the live, if you have you ever heard of the Monroe Doctrine? That is a doctrine where that the United States owns this hemisphere, and anything that takes place in this hemisphere can be
Is there?
they're
Right, right.
policed by the United States. We're in 2025 now. Do you think that this doctrine should still be enforced? Because that is what is going on, and it's revised now there's a revision to it where Trump has now made it his doctrine with his revision. And we have to understand that certain things that was in this doctrine was a president who was a slave owner, who had his own ideology at that time. Do we still want to be under these kinds of backward mindset thinking? And that is where CARICOM is right now too. CARICOM is stuck in this backward set mind thinking. And our leaders on a island to island basis is stuck in this backward mindset thinking and forgetting that Caribbean unity should be the key and should be the constant goal that we're trying to achieve and fight for. I don't know if you can put up the number feed for people. If they want to call in, they can call in,
You can call
I don't
in.
know I don't know if you set up for that tonight or you're
I know I didn't set it up, no boy. I didn't set
okay,
it
well
up.
then don't worry about it then.
I didn't set it up, yeah.
But yeah, man, my people. We need transparency. We need accountability from our leaders. So when it starts at the top, it will go down to the bottom. But when it's at the top, then now we have no transparency, we have no accountability. We have decisions being made and there is no consultation with the general public as to what is taking place or how it is taking place. But yeah, we just have to be forced into certain decisions that were made by our leaders. That is not right.
Okay, we have a comment there, so we have a comment there. We need to read that comment and see and respond to that. It says if it was forced on them, my question is what exactly they have on us. Aye. To push it down our throats and we cannot say no. You thinking?
Stacey, in the beginning of the live, I made this statement that the alleged kingpin charges on Maduro have been silently swept under the rug.
Yeah.
Where he's not there's the charges of him being associated with the drug cartel, Solstice or so I can't remember the name right now, is no longer being pursued. So that is what was implicating some of our Caribbean leaders and saying that they also. So when the Prime Minister came out yesterday and said that he's not part of any drug cartel or drug whatever the case, he hasn't, I am not saying he is, I am not saying he isn't. I don't know. I can't speak to that. But you understand they said that certain Caribbean leaders was allowing the drugs to travel through their places. I'm guessing all of the Caribbean leaders got scared because they didn't know who, what, when, why, and who was going to be next. So all of them start to cover up and shake up in their boots and wonder, boy, is murderer gonna snitch on me? Is he gonna, So everybody trying to cover, like I said, once the light come on, everybody scatter like cockroach.
Just a quick
So
joke. Just a
everybody
quick
trying to
joke.
hold it in and cover their ass.
Just a quick. Everybody except Friday.
Well, Friday just come, so you don't have nothing to. You don't have nothing on him, So, so you see, if you're innocent, you don't have nothing, you don't have no fear. You can speak your mind and do your thing because you're innocent. But when you're innocent, you have to kiss ass. You have to, you have to go and make backdoor deals. You have to go and do all kind of thing. So again,
no, you see,
we are stuck
you see
between
where,
a rock
listen to
and
this,
a hard place.
Listen to this. You see where when you're doing things that are questionable, it can really and truly hurt you.
Yeah.
We all know that the CBI is not really a bad thing to do. It is something that is utilized by almost every single country in the world. But when you do your CBI with questionable persons, which unfortunately Dominica has had about 12 or more questionable persons with our passport through the CBI program, then when you hear, and the kind of a drug charges that people have, when you hear cartel name calling here and there and so on, so you have to ask yourself, what is people involved in that?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a connection do we have with those people through these people? We never know. But anyways, guys. Anyway, so it is for now.
Yeah.
So it is for now. So it is for now. Myself.
But
myself
Fido,
there.
the thing is,
Go ahead.
what do we do and where do we go from here? Solution time.
Okay, solution time now. Solution time.
What
Guys,
do
if
we
you have
do?
any solutions in the comment section, let us know. Now. Let us know because it's a team effort. Right now, I can clearly say it's a team effort for us to come up with a solution. How we can come out in that kind of situation we are in right now in Dominica. Well, Kado will go first now because I still brainstorming. Brainstorming.
Well, first we need to clean up our kitchen, clean up our house, clean up our communities, clean up our island, Dominica. So we start by on a community level. So we have the Wesley constituency, Wesley Woodford Hill Palm constituency, or Woodford Hill Village Council, Wesley Village Council. You start in your house, you clean your house, then you come on a constituency level. So we have the Wesley constituency, we have our parliamentary representative. We clean our house, then we come from the parliamentary level. Now we go to the country level. The prime minister, we clean our house, we become transparent with the people. Then we move from the country level now to a CARICOM level, OECS level. We clean our house, we become more transparent. We show our people that we can build our nation and be connected with one another and be self-sufficient with one another. Where we even come to where we can travel between each member state without a hindrance, without the fear. We can go and work in each member state. We can build our economies that way. That's one of my solutions to this. Why are you laughing?
Well, I like it. I laughing because I get an analogy. You see, I did work there, and a man just jammed down the door because an old man, he can't see properly. So that as a young fella tell him, boy, give up driving. You see, you're too old to drive. Padaman should give it up, Padaman should just give that up. You see, you're running for too long.
Mm-hmm.
Every door he jamming. Every door he jamming. Every time you take the boat and go out, the motor mashing up. You just have the person to get that break.
Give it a break. So,
But I
so-
like your roadmap. I like your roadmap to clean up the communities. To be honest with you, Cado, I was listening to it. But the roadmap is clear, but the work is to be done because I know the people of Dominica has been broken down to pieces, and what we have to do. Cleaning up the house is inspiring people that are broken right now.
true.
How do we do that? Inspiring a nation is not easy.
Well, we have to identify things that we are lacking in. We have to identify. Well, first thing, we don't have lack of job opportunities. So we have to now find ways to create employment for our young men and our young women in the community.
Okay, so let me ask a question now because I need that with clarity because you actually I want to learn from what you're saying. So would we be doing that within the current administration or outside of the current administration? Because that is an important thing to highlight.
I wish we could have heard what the Prime Minister state on that, because it boils back to the fact of unity. I don't care what color party you represent. We represent Dominica. The message is to rebuild Dominica. Forget about party. Forget about red. Forget about blue. Forget about party and partism. And focus on Dominica and rebuilding the nation of Dominica.
Okay. So then
because the Prime Minister had a call for that. If you have certain skills and you are good in certain things, make yourself available for the state to be able to get access and utilize your skill set. I am an accountant. I make myself available to help the state in accounting. I am not saying that I want you to abuse my services for free, but I'm making myself available to help. I am an economist. I put myself in a position to help the state. There was a statement made one time by the Prime Minister when Maria came and destroyed Dominica. Lennox Linton was the opposition leader at that time. He said that when they worked together, they achieved so much in the short space of time that they worked together that it was mind-blowing. I believe if we put our partism and our parties' different things to the side for the betterment of Dominica, Dominica can go places.
So you're trying to tell me, okay, from now till the next general election, we should put our resources together to develop Dominica.
Yes.
So you're trying to tell me, so Mr. Thompson Fountain now should be given the liberty to put together a financial or economical an economic plan for Dominica and given the full rights to operate in that. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And then wherever this other person on the other party side can operate and function, let's say they key in executing. So Fountain overseas and this person will execute just to make Dominica, put Dominica in a better place. You're trying to tell me that is what you're calling for to happen?
Well, I don't know if it's in that phraseology.
You're telling me I don't know, I don't know, You're telling me.
Let me say how I can say it. Okay, for instance, like I am an economist. Thompson Fountain is an economist. He can put, let's say he puts together an economic strategy plan because he has plans he said that he will implement when he gets into power. But let's say he puts an economic strategy plan together for the country of Dominica. They might use it, they might not use it. I don't know I don't know. But you put it out there. If the Prime Minister call for unity and call for these things and he doesn't use your plan, then you know he's bullshit and you can call him out on it.
Okay, all right.
But when you don't give a person a chance to be called out on certain things that they crying you down on,
yes,
you have no voice to say nothing.
Right. Definitely.
So if they put together an economic plan bring it to the government, show it to the government, and they don't use it. You now have your checks and balances. You have met what his criteria. You have brought it to his face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
For sure. Because, Caro, you don't know how long it lasts. Well, I guess the people them don't know how long me and you've been saying that, in our conversations. That is where we take Dominica to the next level, really and truly. Because right now, we need the help. Right now, we need all resources. Right now, we need everybody on deck. You understand
Yeah, we
me?
need everybody on deck.
Everybody on deck. Because if it continues so, by the time we give another man a chance, it already sink.
Think. And I want to address something, the elephant in the goddamn room. To the people that keep on going with this rhetoric that I am a workers. I don't know if you can clear the Prime Minister thing there real quick. I want everybody
Yeah,
to
we
see
can
my
clear
face
that,
real
man.
quick.
Yes, it's big.
To the people that keep on going about with this rhetoric about I am a workers, I am supporter of no political organization. I am affiliated to none. I am affiliated to Dominica.
Okay.
Go ahead,
all
Fido.
right, yeah. No, I'll say I'm a Dominicanite. But
Yes,
yeah.
I am a Dominicanite. I am not affiliated to any political organization. If a political organization comes forward and it has some ideas that are similar to mine and some rhetoric that is going in what I believe in, I will support them. If they in there and it's like, okay, if Fido doing foolishness, me and Fido talk almost every day. If Fido doing foolishness and I don't tell Fido he doing foolishness, I am no friend to Fido. If my Prime Minister doing foolishness and I don't tell him he's doing foolishness, I am no friend to the country. If Thompson Fountain doing foolishness and I don't tell him he's doing foolishness, I am no friend to the country. Forget about party.
Yeah.
We put in country and rebuilding the country first. The reason we do these lives, the reason we make these videos is not for a political organization, is for country. So for anybody that believes that me, support a political organization, think again. Think again. I burn fire on all of them. I do not like the way neither one of them operate. One is holding us down by our throat, and the other one is not pulling up their pants fast enough to help fix the goddamn problem. So I am a Dominican, a Dominicanite. I stand for Dominica and for the betterment of Dominica. And when Dominica is better, CARICOM and the rest of the Caribbean can be better.
Of course.
That is my statement on that. So I don't know if you don't want to address the same elephant in the room on his side as well.
But no, I don't think no we don't say not means nothing. No, we don't say means nothing. It's you people saying that is workers, or whatever, Because clearly, I always say, and I will say it anyway, everywhere, as long as I see a political party or whoever politician is doing something wrong or is not going the way it's supposed to go, then I will speak up on it and against it. I will, who's doing good, I will say yes, who is doing bad, I will say bad. And that is where I stand. I stand with the best interest for Dominica and the Dominican people. That's just it. So what you call classic liberals, that's what you call it.
I see a comment coming. What was that?
She said they too damn boring, period. She talked about the political parties, obviously. Or it could be us, We don't know. But
thanks for your comment, We
appreciate it. Guys, everybody, our viewers, our commenters, our followers, guys, we appreciate the support. And Cardo's Media is really there to tease you guys to think rationally, to think about the hard stuff, because if we don't attempt, then who will? If we don't think differently, then who will? Because at this point in time, there's partisan thinking and color thinking has brought us this far. Are we in a good place? No. We need to think about what will make Dominica a better place.
Mhm.
And that is the
And
option. We need to choose Dominica.
we need to choose Dominica. And we need
She's
to
a
we need to
workers.
stand up. Huh?
She's a workers.
And we need to stand up for justice in our country. Abuse on women, no matter their skin color, no matter their complexion, no matter their family type, no matter what, abuse is abuse. Abusers are
Yeah.
abusers. We do not stand for abuse on women. We do not stand for abuse of children. We do not stand for gun violence on Cardos Media. We denounce these things. We stand for betterment of country, development of country, better ideas. Let us look for better ways to resolve our issues. There's
Yeah,
too
man.
much violence going on in Dominica.
I think we want to do. I think we want to do in the process of putting together a program where we talk about men mental health, men and our mental health, because I believe that is something Carol has been telling me for quite some time we want us to do, and we've seen the need for it right now in this time for the country where men and the mental health need to take it more seriously. And I think there's a narrative that's going around where men cannot really, process their
Be
emotions.
emotional.
You understand? In public, I should say, in public, because in private, does I guess man cry or everything happen. But a man should be able to process his emotions. I mean, healthily, anyway, he is without the stigma, a kind of a stigma to it. Where that is concerned, that has been damaging men for quite some time. So I think we're gonna put together some programs where men and mental health is concerned. Our men can relate to certain things and go through the correct measures and procedures to maintaining their mental sanity. Because I know for 10 minutes a man can go insane for 10 minutes and do what the bad thing tell him to do. You understand me? We know to process our emotions properly, handle situations differently, and in the same sense, we're gonna be elevating our men to being better people, better men, better thinking, better rational thinking people. Yeah, man.
My people,
All
we
that
are
is
in
part of building Dominica, guys.
Huh?
I say all that is part of building Dominica.
Dominica, yeah. Yeah. My people, we are in 2026. The narrative has changed. Information is everywhere. We are in the information era. I also believe that if we get knowledge is power. If we edify ourselves, nobody can fool us. Nobody can shove things down our throat, because while we are educated, we challenge the norm. This is what Cardo Media does. We challenge the norm. We speak about things, we make people see things with a different perspective. You might not like what we say, you might not be for what we say, but we put it out there so you can get to understand the other side of things. The other side of things. There's always three sides to a story: your side, their side, and the goddamn truth.
Mm-hmm.
So when you understand their side and that side, you can then formulate a truth and come to a better understanding of what is going on around you. Don't be fooled by the mainstream media. Don't be fooled by your next door neighbor. Get the information that resonates with your soul.
Yeah, because I just want to say that to Caro, because I know majority of the persons I spoke to, they told me I support this particular, party because my parents supported it. And I just think that is kind of robbing the voter themselves, because you have no solid reason to vote a particular, party. So when we operate the limitations of our parents falls on us.
True.
Because we never even use, well, this is why I voting, this is why I voting. So it's better to get the information, listen to what each people have to say, and if it resonates to what you align with, then fine. But don't make your only reason for doing something because people doing it. That leaves you in the darkness. That leaves you clueless of what you're doing. Simple.
True.
And in a sense,
Mhm.
it robs generation.
Of course, of course, it robs the people, because I only voting because of what my parents did or who my parents supported. That doesn't in this day and age. If you're thinking with that kind of mindset, my brother and sisters, you have a problem. You are the problem. You are the problem, because there is no way I cannot just vote blindly because my father said to vote this or my mother said to vote that. I have to be informed for myself. And that is why I just blame them other opposition forces. You want to run for politics, put out your information as to what you're going to do, what are your plans for the development of the country. Force the other person to put theirs out. Because if you don't put out nothing and they don't put out nothing, who you think going to win? If you don't put out nothing to make them have to put out something, who you think going to win? They're already there.
But of course,
My people, challenge the norm. 2026. Challenge the norm. Let's normalize challenging the norm. Don't just settle for any and everything people tell you and shove it down your throat. Ask questions. The Prime Minister said he's bringing in refugees. Find out where the refugees coming from. How are we going to be able to financially support these people? How are we going to be able to sustain our island, which we already can't sustain? How are we going to, what is the benefits of bringing these people into the country? What is the benefit they're going to bring to us? Are they coming with skill? What skill sets are they coming with? Are they going to be taking our jobs that we already don't have? We have limited resources of. What is the end game to this? Is America going to give you $7.5 million to bring these people into the country? What is the end game to this?
When it comes to one of the most essential, systems or things to have in place is your medical system in place. Do we have the capacity to deal with those people coming in? Have we dealt with, you have to look at all those things, the geographical issues, I should say, or epidemics. I think the general sicknesses of those people in wherever they are, can we deal with those things? Are we at risk to getting those things? All of that needs to be taken into consideration. I just think off the top of my head, but if I sit down and have to plan those things, the amount of things and checks and balances I would have to get to understand what we're doing and what we're getting ourselves involved with.
Yeah, and I like the health system.
I have to bring it in because it's essential. It's one of the essential things.
What kind of strain are these people gonna put on our economy?
Does our justice system
align with their beliefs? Because some people might come from a Middle Eastern justice system and they come into a Dominica justice system where it's different.
So I just checking. A lot of questions you have to ask, and a lot. Is that if we will get the answers? Moving forward, thinking positively, we should get the answers.
If we didn't get the simple basic answers already, you think we're gonna get any goddamn answer? We just gonna start to see Palestinians appear in Dominica. We're just gonna start to see Indians appearing in Dominica. We're just gonna see Arabs appearing in Dominica. We're just gonna wonder, well, Dominica changed demographics.
Yeah. It will happen. And as you say, as you say, really, do we have the religious capacity? I should say, can walking down the road and seeing things happening there, so which is the customs of the people. How are we gonna react to that? How you so sure them fellas not gonna stone people?
You get me? They gonna tie them to a pole and beat them, stamp on their head. Yeah. Hey,
man, there's so many things I take into consideration, man.
We need to fix our justice system. our justice system is too biased and protects who it wants, when it wants, how it wants. I have a scenario to ask before we cut out. Last thing
Okay.
I want to ask, last thing here.
Go ahead.
How many of you all would have done the same thing of getting your child out of the country if they could without being charged?
I could give my honest answer.
I don't ask you for your answer. No?
Oh,
Go
I
ahead,
shall
give me
give
your
my honest
answer.
answer, you know. Okay, you first and foremost, I would have two different, and honestly speaking, I would have two different answers depending on the position I have. So you have to give me the position I have.
Oh, give you the position that you have. Okay, you are a leader in the community. You are a leader.
A strong leader in the community or just a leader in the community? Because if I just a leader in the community, well, I ask myself like a common man. You know? If I'm a strong leader in the community,
A strong leader in the community.
If my leadership carries weight, and I know my leadership carries weight, and my son is convicted of something, my son, I'm gonna tell you what I would want to happen and I'd want to do. I'd want the officers to arrest him because I would want to think I raised my son better than that. I would want him to go to, if he has to go to prison, I want the judge to do what the judge has to do. And then remember, I'm a strong leader. Yeah? 2 years he come out there, but a day in his life he don't know he did it. You understand me? But the reason I would do that is to more so respect my people I'm leading.
Is that what?
It's more so to respect the people I am leading.
True.
You understand me? And the reason why I would allow him to stay 2 years, but he would never feel like he's in jail for any of the 2 years, is because I love him and I have connections. Okay. But I would never reach to the point where I would disrespect my son because he did something wrong and disrespect my people by fleeing like that. Now, if he's a common man, we have to come out there.
Yes.
You understand me? People, nobody don't care that I do. Nobody say I come out there. If I go, nobody don't miss me. You understand me? So it's a different scene. So me coming out there, all means necessary coming out there, we coming out there, coming out there. After I go beg, I go say sorry, I go whatever. It's my son. But the moment I place in that position of leadership right here, and he knows that, and he jeopardizes my name, his reputation, my reputation for that, then I'm gonna need him to be a man.
Okay. And you know, I love your answer. The reason why I can say that
tell me
is because it shows integrity. It shows that you are willing to not be above the law, but you are a law-abiding citizen with your people. So people will now more respect you than fear you. You get me?
You. Yeah,
people will more respect you than be afraid of you, because they know what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. But what we have here now is a one-sided justice system where I am privileged. My thing does never hit the media. I am privileged. I do not even have to go to court or get charged with anything. And who's to say that the charges would have been met towards your child?
Exactly.
If proper investigation was done, who's to say that? You get my point. It could have been the other way around. But when we take justice into our own hands, it spoils everything. There's no real accountability.
Honestly true, because I'm gonna tell you the reality. Well, I guess it could happen. So I can say the possibilities. You take, you take charge of it, take the justice into your own hands, and you flee your boy out of there. And because he didn't learn from that experience, and that he will fix that, he go in deeper waters and get problem for you again. Understand me? So I think at some point in time, you have to make them boys know that their decisions have consequences.
True. 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 So, with all of this being said and done, we stand for justice. We stand for equality. We stand against abuse of women, children. We stand against abuse in general. We stand for men being able to be emotional, be able to cry, be there for their families, show weakness when need be, and not be ostracized by the community and by the people because we show some form of weakness. We are human beings. We are not robots. That is my candor for tonight.
Well, that's it. That's it for me now. That's it for me, guys. So I will just end it. I'll say, guys, you know it is Kado's Media. Don't blame the messenger, but listen to the message, take the message. And that's it, guys. We're gone.
Peace.
Well, this is Kado's Media. And yeah, don't blame the messenger. Yeah.